Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book addict. There's so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be a no spoiler review on The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. I had requested and received this book for free through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. That's why I'm going to buy a physical copy of this book though. I'm going to be vague as shit, okay? Because when I picked this book up, I had requested this book months ago. It came out in March. I had requested it in like January, February, the absolute latest. And I had read it, and all I remember when I picked it up this time was it's a mystery. Now, the book, you're following a girl named Lane, and she loses her mother, gets moved to family who live out in Kansas, and you're following her family life, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I will tell you someone goes missing, and the family, it's all about like secrets and all these things going on, okay? I will let you know that, but I adored this book. It got me in my feelings towards the end, but for the most part of the book, I was just like kind of grossed out and disgusted in the best way possible, and just like, what the heck's going on? There were things that happened that I was just shocked. I was not expecting it. There was characters. Okay, let me just talk about the characters real quick. I hated them. I hated every single one of these characters. It wasn't until the last like 15 pages that I was like, oh, I kind of like you. Other than that, I hated every single one of these characters. They were flawed to the core. They were not perfect. They were they were just horrible people. They really were. Would I have wanted Amy to change them? Fuck no, because they made the book so good. The characters definitely drove this book, and if you the characters, I feel, and the way the story was written in terms of like how the chapter layout was and the writing itself is what drove this book. The plot is still solid as fuck, don't get me wrong, but the characters drove this book. They drove me crazy, but they drove this book. They moved it forward. They were a steam engine, and they were building up momentum, and then it just happened. It really did happen. Now, I will say, if you enjoy V.C. Andrews' books, I could totally I would say this is not exactly the same thing or anything. It's definitely more modern. You can just tell that in the style of writing, the style of like the layout, the characters, the content and whatnot. But I would definitely say it has V.C. Andrews-esque themes to it, and I think that was something else I really, really enjoyed. So if you like V.C. Andrews, I would at least give this one a chance. I'm not saying you will love it, but I do think you will enjoy it, because if you read V.C. Andrews' books, there's a couple of things she always has in common in her novels, but there's one thing that always stands out, and that is something that is apparent in The Roanoke Girls. I loved her writing. Her writing was really good. Like, really, really good. I just loved everything. I loved the setting. I love that it's in the middle of fucking nowhere in some Kansas podunk town. I loved how horrible these characters were. I loved the writing. I loved, like, the things that happened, and that, like, I questioned my sanity as I was reading this book. I was just like, I should not be rooting for this. And there were times when I was, and I was just like, I was so invested in this story. I was completely, totally gone with it. I loved it. I just, like, it was good. I was not expecting it to be that way, though, because I went in only knowing it was a mystery novel. That's all I remember. Also, I would say if you were young teens, do not read this book. Read this, like, 17, 18 plus. It's not necessarily an adult novel or like new adult where it's cheesy like that, but it has just topics and such that I would not recommend for young readers at all. I just really loved it though. I really stinking loved it. There's not much more I can say though, because I just loved the plot. I loved the characters, even though I hated them. Like, I really fucking hated them. But it's amazing. I truly adored it. I thought this story was just so fucked up and so beautifully written, and I loved all the angles and the chapters and how it does switch between timelines and sometimes people. I liked the family dynamic. I loved the family dynamic, even though it's really twisted. It's just so good. I highly recommend it if you like dark contemporary mystery type novels. This is still a mystery at the end of the day. I loved it. I recommend it. Have you guys read it? I have not read the Book of Ivy or something like that. I don't remember what her other novel was, but I know I have it. I haven't read that one though, and I just really loved her writing. Her writing is very good. It's definitely one of those things where it sucks you in and it keeps you there and it hooks you. I literally could not stop reading it. I stayed up way too late reading it one night, and I don't regret it. It flew and it stayed, and I love it, I love it, I love it. So let me know if you guys have read it, if you're interested. Have you read her other works? I obviously want to know. Leave comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.